Hi there, it's Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying out the Oskia Renaissance Cleansing Gel. This is their famous cleanser. Been around for many years. A lot of people love this, so I'm going to finally try this one. I also have a deluxe sample of the Hardie Moringa Light Cleansing Gel. Now both of these can remove makeup, but I believe they also can work as a second cleanser. So I'm going to go ahead and just try out a little bit on the back of my hand to see which one I want to use first. So this pink gel texture feels very thick and oily. It kind of reminds me of the Jordan Samuel After Show Treatment Cleanser. Kind of the same textures. And then this one, you know, the Oskia didn't have a seal on it, but the Hardie did. Let's see how this one feels. This one feels definitely a bit lighter, but actually a very similar texture. Maybe a tad oilier. That's funny. I mean, I think these would work well as makeup removers. Don't know how I feel about them as second cleanse, but how funny. They smell very citrusy. I think the Hardie one is definitely more citrusy. Interesting. The Oskia says to use it on dry skin first and then put water. The Hardie says wet or dry. I have some face makeup on and a little bit of eye makeup. I think I want to try the Oskia first. I hope I'm saying that right. I really like the pink. Yeah, this one doesn't really have much of a scent, so that's what it looks like, kind of a clear, thicker gel. And I'm gonna put this on, massage it in, and then remove it with a damp microfiber towel and see how it works. It feels really nice. It doesn't feel like too thick or too oily, and it spreads around really nicely. I didn't have to use a whole lot. So normally I use a separate eye makeup remover, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my Clinique Take the Day Off. Also, the Oskia one actually says to not use it on your eyes, which I find a little bit surprising if it is to remove makeup. Usually people like to use makeup removing cleansers on their eyes as well. But the Oskia one you want to keep away from your eyes. So I'm happy to use my separate eye makeup remover. So I'm going to go ahead and wet my towel and start removing. Got some off there. You know, my first impressions of the Oskia is it's not too oily, but it does seem to effectively remove makeup. So I think those of you that have oily skin and don't want a whole lot of oily residue from your makeup remover, the Oskia is a good option, and I can see why a lot of people like it because it's not heavy. Like some oil cleansers and balms, they can leave a good amount of residue and just make you feel like you have a little bit too much on your skin. But this one feels really light. I got a good amount off. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse and then apply the Hardie. Alright, my face is good and wet. I will note on the Oskia bottle, the directions say you can add water after you massage in. I didn't really do that. I just removed with a towel, so I think it probably would emulsify a little bit more if you add some water in while you're massaging around. But I didn't really feel like I needed to do that. My mascara is running a little bit. Okay, So on to this one for my second cleanse. Just gonna use that much. Yeah, this is the one that definitely smells like bergamot. Not just citrus, but bergamot. Like that strong orange smell. Ooh. I think I put a little bit too much water on my face. You can see it kind of turning white, hopefully. Let me put a little bit more. Yeah, I think both of these would probably work just fine removing makeup. This one does feel lighter, even lighter than Oskia. So that's why I picked it for the second cleanse. It does smell really good if you love bergamot, but it is a bit strong. But you can see how I'm turning very white and milky. It's a lovely texture, like really lovely. I'm a fan. I'm not really, like I don't mind a little bit of citrus, but this is kind of much for me. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse and see what my skin feels like. Alright, just gonna dry off a little bit. My skin feels light, it doesn't feel dried out. Yeah, it feels soft. And it does feel really clean. Doesn't feel dried out. I'm sure if I sat around for a while, my skin would eventually feel dry, but right now it feels really soft and nice and clean and fresh. I will say though, I wouldn't actually use this as a second cleanse. I would probably still use both of these primarily as first step cleansers, makeup removers, sunscreen removers, just because their texture really works well for that. And I don't really like this kind of texture for a second cleanse. I want something else. Because this is an oil to, this is kind of these are both gel cleansers, but they're like gel to water, or they emulsify when wet. And with a second cleanse, I want something that works a little differently with water. Like a regular gel cleanser, it just kind of washes away and doesn't turn milky, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would prefer something a little more water-based or gel-like without the emulsion part. So what I'm thinking of is, like, a good second cleanse for me would be the Matinee Gel Cleanser, which is water soluble. So it doesn't foam, it doesn't emulsify, it just washes away. Another option for a second cleanse is the Kate Somerville Goat Milk Cleanser. This is one you just cleanse and wash it off or remove it with a towel. It doesn't foam up or strip your skin at all. But these, even though they're gel cleansers, because they're makeup removers, if I use 2 of these in a row, it's actually probably too much for my skin. I want something a little gentler, more gentle for my second cleanse. So I wouldn't use these back to back. I would use one or the other for my first cleanse. Alright guys, those are my first impressions. If I had to choose, they're both really nice. I'm leaning towards this one because it doesn't have that smell. I like the texture and how light this is, but this isn't so heavy for me either. Now if I was really oily, I would want something super light. I just wish it wasn't as strong a scent. I'm sure there is a price difference. Oskia is quite expensive and a little bit harder to not get in the US, but it's definitely not at every department store or popular retailer. And Hardie isn't really available that much either. I know you can get sales on them, so I'm not too worried, but I don't know. I feel like cleansers should be a little bit more reasonably priced, and I know these are not the cheapest, so I'm glad to finally try this though. So let me know your thoughts, questions below. click the thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.